fairy that is always dancing. However, sometimes I am a solitary hunter. Those terrible nightmares will come, but they shall never evade the eyes of the moon. If the moon is present, all other stars will be dimmed. All gleams in the moonlight. My power will never wane. My little fighters, go, attack! I'm over the moon.
What's up, everyone? We have a new guardian mage, Chang'e, who is the lunar goddess from Chinese mythology. Let's get started on her analysis. Something unique about her is that she does not perform auto attacks herself. Her jade rabbits prioritize the moonlight marked enemy for auto attacking, but the rabbits cannot be targeted. This leaves her to only perform her ultimate and 3 active skills. Her ultimate, Moonlight Rabbit, makes her immobilize the moonlight marked enemy for 3 seconds and summon many jade rabbits to deal a huge 800% damage. After the 3 seconds, a jade rabbit is added to the battlefield in addition to her original one. They can add up to a maximum of 4 rabbits, so she needs to use 3 instances of her ultimate. Her first active skill, Moon Brilliance, is the skill that generates the moonlight mark on random enemies. Only 1 moonlight mark can always be active. She also deals 300% damage. As I said earlier, her jade rabbits will prioritize the moonlight marked enemy for their auto attacks. Moon Brilliance gains 180 energy. Her second active, Moonlit Blossom, sends a 220% damage AoE shockwave in front of her that will damage the enemies and the moonlight marked enemy wherever they are. More damage if the marked enemy is within the shockwave's range. To make the best of this skill, Chang'e would be best placed in the middle of the back line. Moonlit Blossom gives 180 energy. Her third active skill, Dazzling Moon, is her enemy debuff skill. Lasting 6 seconds for the moonlight marked enemy, it decreases their defense by 30% and magical resistance by 3.5% per second, up to 21% at the last second. The enemy can have up to 6 stacks of Dazzling Moon, but I think it's unrealistic to calculate for 180% defense and 126% magical resistance reduction, since the stacks only last 6 seconds. It would be impossible for Chang'e to repeat Dazzling Moon 6 times in 6 seconds, even if the only enemy is a boss. Dazzling Moon gives 180 energy. For her equipment, what I think would be best is Yasakani Magatama and Air Runes. Since Chang'e does not auto-attack and has 3 active skills, her equipment should optimize her skill cooldowns so she can produce more stacks of Dazzling Moon and repeat all her skills for instances of gaining 180 energy. Her IW focuses on her attack and HP attributes. Her Chimera attribute is critical damage, so more focus should be placed on getting critical chance attributes in her IW2 nodes until she has at least 75%. Her IW2 node color can be yellow if you are planning to use her in both PvP and PvE, or they can be blue if you want to maximize her use for boss battles. Besides critical chance, her IW2 node attributes should also be offensive ones like attack percentage, magical cleave, critical damage, and accuracy. Her IW skills are mostly offensive. IW 100 and 200 increase her and her rabbit's damage on the Moonlight marked enemy. IW 300 increases critical chance and damage of her rabbits if there are 4 on the field, which means it's only active after she uses her ultimate 3 times. IW 400 converts a portion of the Moonlight marked enemy's received damage into a shield for Chang'e. IW 500 adds a 50% chance to add 2 rabbits to the battlefield after Moonlight Rabbit instead of 1. IW 600 turns her rabbit's auto attacks into AoE attacks for 55% of her attack. One of her downsides is her subpar Divinity skill set. Primeval Tree seems more suited for a tank, and her main Psyche Tree's skills are the least preferred ones. Anyways, for 2 nodes, pick Culmination and Torment. For 3 nodes, pick Culmination, Torment, and Tenacious. For 4 nodes, continue to use Culmination, Torment, and Tenacious. For 5 nodes, use Culmination, Torment, and Savvy. For 6 nodes, use Pristine or Phantasmal and Savvy. For 7 nodes, use Culmination or Torment, Pristine or Phantasmal, and Savvy. For bosses, use the 5-node combination of Culmination, Torment, and Savvy. I'm certain Chang'e can perform fine in PvE campaign, but she seems more suited for bosses. Her Dazzling Moon debuff is great for team damage boosting, but it only applies to the Moonlight target. Since bosses are usually singular, the Moonlight mark will always stay on them for effective Dazzling Moon usage. Although she is not an Asterial main, Chang'e looks to be an ideal boss team hero. Many players have chosen Amaterasu for Div 2, and the defense and magical resistance reduction, as well as the Guardian faction bonus, make Chang'e a useful supporter for Amaterasu's team. Her skill set doesn't favor PvP as much as PvE. However, if you use her for PvP, use yellow IW2 nodes as I mentioned earlier. Chang'e does not give the impression that she is a main carry, but rather a magical damage supporter. Therefore, I can think of 2 teams where she can fit into: Lilith's team and the Guardian Verdian team alongside Ymir, Prometheus, and Nuwa. Lilith's team performs better with a Shadow Arc majority, so Chang'e would have to be the only Guardian in that team. The Guardian Verdian team would be set up with Nuwa in the front line, with multiple mages in the back line to give Nuwa as much initial defense bonus as possible. Her strengths are high damage, auto-attacking through rabbits and using active skills at the same time, and good for bosses and crusade. Her weaknesses are subpar divinity skills and random targeting with Moon Brilliance for the Moonlight mark. Thanks for listening.